What is it like to be put in the middle of the ocean in conditions of no light, poisonous substances surrounding you, and no oxygen? This world is just uninhabitable, yet there are living beings that live in that world and even grow there. They inhabit regions that are so harsh that they question all of our assumptions about survival. What enables them to live in these destructive conditions? How have they evolved to live without one element we all take for granted? Oxygen? Let's explore the world of these unique animals that can live without oxygen and uncover the secrets that fight with the laws of nature. Number 1. Henneguya salminicola. Henneguya salminicola is a small migration parasite that infects fish, preferably salmon. The ocelots are the first known vertebrates able to survive in environments free of oxygen. Unlike other organisms, which use oxygen to produce energy, this bacteria invades the fish's body and steals energy from it. Due to its effective adaptation, it can live in locations where most animals cannot. Number 2. Loricifera. Loricifera are minor invertebrates and are located in the deep sea anoxic environment of the seafloor. They were found in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, living in poisonous anaerobic conditions. These animals have cells that do not require oxygen for energy-creating processes. Instead, they employ the aqueous medium surrounding them to exist or to survive, as they call it. Number 3. Bdelloid Rotifers. Bdelloid Rotifers are free-living animals that are generally found in aquatic environments. These are robust animals. They can even survive if their body is dried out, exposed to radiation, or in fact, live without oxygen for some time. In their absence of nutrients, if necessary, it becomes crucial. When oxygen gets depleted, Bdelloid rotifers enter an anhydrobiotic state and wait for a suitable scenario to repeat the process. They return to normal life whenever oxygen is made available to them again. Number 4. Desulforudis audaxviator. Desulforudis audaxviator is a subterranean bacterium found in a deep gold mining pit in South Africa. Scratch that, pals. This incredible creature dwells 3 kilometers deep underground, without light and with no oxygen around it. It sustains itself by feeding on chemicals such as hydrogen and sulfate that are well known to thrive in its deep-rooted ecosystem. Such a bacteria may help scientists explain how life can exist on other planets that do not have oxygen and sunlight. Number 5. Halicephalobus mephisto. Halicephalobus mephisto is a particular species of nematodes. Similar to Desulforudis audaxviator, it inhabits subterranean hot water and exists at water depths up to 2. Like many worms, it is best adapted to habitats without oxygen and high temperatures. It also raises questions about which parts of the world animals can inhabit and how life as a form can support itself at the coldest temperatures on the planet. Number 6. Planaria, flatworms. Planaria are a group of flatworms and are a great example of animals that possess a rather high tolerance to oxygen deficiency. They will be able to go a few weeks without food and go into what can be referred to as sleep mode. That way their metabolism slows down. At this period, they can survive without oxygen for much longer. These worms also have the ability to reproduce if any body part is severed. If cut in half, it gives 2 worms. Number 7. Tardigrades, water bears. Of all animals, tardigrades or water bears can endure almost any condition that is thrown at them. They are this small and still they are capable of withstanding freezing temperatures, radiation, and even the vacuum of space. Tardigrades, of course, require oxygen to survive, yet they possess a state called cryptobiosis, in which their metabolic activity comes close to cessation. Here, they do not require oxygen and can freely exist in exceedingly unfavorable conditions for survival. Number 8. Cyanobacteria. Blue-green algae called Cyanobacteria are one of the first living creatures on our planet. They contributed to producing many of the world's oxygen requirements billions of years ago. However, quite some kinds of Cyanobacteria can live in an anoxic environment, meaning that they can cease using oxygen to produce energy through fermentation. Most are also obligatory anaerobes, which means they adapt well to either aerophilic or microaerophilic conditions. Number 9. Sulfide Worms. Hydrothermal wet worms, sulfide worms, are found in the deepest parts of the sea where substances like hydrogen sulfide are present in the water. Unlike most worms, these worms do not require any element of oxygen in order to survive. Rather than purging themselves of bacteria that feed on the chemicals within water, they host the bacteria within their system that metabolizes those chemicals to produce energy. This made it possible for the worms to be alive in the complete absence of light and oxygen. Number 10. Parasitic worms. Parasitic worms are a lenticular parasite that preferentially infects animals and humans. These worms can penetrate the muscles of their hosts, which are characterized by low oxygen supplies. In these conditions, they can only exist within anaerobic type of metabolism, on which they do not need oxygen. This ability aids the parasites in doing this, right down to when oxygen is scarce in the environment. Number 11. Sulfur Bacteria. Thiobacillus. Thiobacillus bacteria are normally consumed in elegant environments such as hot springs and volcanic sultry vents. Some of them are not even dependent on oxygen to survive. They live. They, however, utilize sulfur compounds to generate energy. They possess a special significance in detoxifying sulfur in the environment and retaining the equilibrium of chemicals in severe environments. Number 12. Mussels. The mussels belonging to the Bathymodulus family dwell in waters of the world's oceans, on the sea bottom where oxygen is a rarity. Unlike most animals, these mussels do not obtain energy from the oxygen they obtain through water. It is rather a number of bacteria that resides in them, and they convert chemicals in the water into energy. It is in such conditions that these mussels can exist while otherwise no other life forms would be possible. Number 13. Spartobranchus tenuis. Spartobranchus tenuis is an acorn worm species that is found at great depths and near methane seeps. These worms can live in environments with high bacterial content and low oxygen concentration by employing bacteria in their gut to ferment methane and other chemicals. This enables them to inhabit environments that, when examined from various perspectives, will be toxic for other animals. Number 14. Osedax, bone-eating worms. Osedax are the bone-eating worms that are known to make their habitat on the bones of dead whales at the seabed. These are queer beasts that have neither lips nor maw. But these worms do not digest the bones of the whale. Rather, they have bacteria living inside their stomachs for the purpose. And in return for food, the bacteria uses the chemicals created by decaying matter to process the bones. Hypoxic conditions of the deep sea are also suitable for the species because of this symbiotic connection. Number 15. Green sulfur bacteria. Green sulfur bacteria are one type of photosynthetic bacteria that are found in one of the Earth's most sterile environments and are incapable of existing in the presence of oxygen. These bacteria can extract energy from as little light as you might imagine, but living in the absence of any light at all, they change their operation to a completely different metabolic pathway, one that exists on sulfur compounds and doesn't require oxygen. Number 16. Pompeii Worm. The Pompeii Worm is found near hydrothermal vents deep in the Pacific Ocean. These worms survive extreme heat and low oxygen conditions, relying on a thick layer of bacteria that cover their bodies. The bacteria help them process the chemicals in the duct fluids, providing the worms with the energy they need to survive in such extreme environments. Number 17. Facultative anaerobic fish. Crucian carp. Crucian carp refers to the freshwater fish that are known to have the ability to endure a frozen winter in water with little or no oxygen. The Crucian carp is known to reverse to anaerobic respiration whenever the amounts of oxygen in the water are low, thereby being able to produce energy in the absence of oxygen. It even turns the byproducts of this process into alcohol, and then the fish just lets out from its gills. It aids it to live in conditions that would be lethal to most other fish species. Here is the unique world of animals that can live in environments we could hardly even imagine. From the depth of the ocean to the dangerous holes of the earth, these life forms fight all existing protection. Their special features help us recall how diverse life could be, to exist where oxygen exists and where the real-life challenge seems to be invincible. For that matter, as we and other human beings extend our search for the drive to learn more about our own planet and even other worlds, what other forms of wildlife might scientists come across? If such creatures can survive these conditions, one may have asked himself what other type of life may exist in this universe. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more amazing discoveries. Thanks for watching and see you next time.